I've created a dusk to dawn time-lapse of the SailGP yacht race held in Lyttelton Harbour, March 24th, 2024, but it wasn't as straightforward as I thought. I had the idea after watching the race from the Port Hills the year before. We'd packed a picnic lunch and biked up to a viewpoint overlooking the race. It was a fun day out and a great spectacle to watch. I like a challenge, so this year why not park myself up the hill at a viewpoint overlooking the race and capture the entire day as a time lapse. The challenge is not just staying up there for the entire day, but how do I put together a 13-hour time lapse that's not too boring to watch all the way through? Jump ahead to the end if you want to see how I did, or stay watching for some behind the scenes. I like to start with a reconnaissance trip beforehand because I need to work out where to best set up the camera, as it'll be dark when I arrive on the day. So I'm up here above Lyttelton Harbour doing a bit of a reconnaissance for a time lapse next week during SailGP. I've got a really good spot. It's probably going to take me about 40 minutes to get up here on the electric bike. I'm packed and ready to go the night before. It's too easy to forget things and then get delayed in the early morning. I'm going to step through how the day progressed and show you what was going on around me. Then I'll show you the completed time lapse at the end of this video. I'm riding up the Rapaki track on the way to a viewpoint overlooking Lyttelton Harbour. I'm doing an all-day time-lapse, sunrise, sunset, and coincides with the SailGP, so it should be a really interesting day up the hill. Weather forecast is good. Got about an hour and a half to sunrise, so looking good. So it's about 7 in the morning. I've just started the time lapse. A little bit late getting away, had some problems with the bike, knocked a wire out. But fortunately Jackie to the rescue, problem solving. She's better than that than I am. It's a lovely day, bit of low cloud, but that just adds to the drama. Good forecast, so it should be a really interesting day. Looking forward to it. Spectacular morning up here above Lyttelton Harbour. Got quite a few hours to wait for the SailGP, but the time lapse started running before sunrise. It's going really well. It's been a really lovely morning, spectacular clouds. Really pleased to be here that I got up here. From finishing up the time lapse, the SailGP race didn't happen. Safety issues, they decided not to run the race. And I'm glad to have stayed here from sunrise to sunset, and I'll stay post-sunset to get a bit of the evening lights coming on in Lyttelton. So it was a big day, but I'm really happy with how it went. The weather was great, My camera settings were good, and I didn't bump the tripod and ruin the time lapse. The first photo was taken at 6:50 AM and the last one at 7:51 PM. That's 3,223 shots taken at 15-second intervals. It didn't really matter that the boats didn't get to race. I had a fun day out and I still got some interesting footage. So just to recap, if you want to try this yourself, do a recce beforehand so you know where you're going to set up your camera. Have a sturdy tripod. Know your camera settings with regards to time-lapse. Have warm clothing and sun protection, and take plenty of food and water. I'm planning a future video where I'll go more in-depth on techniques, gear, and tips and tricks. In the meantime, here's a bonus tip. Many smartphones have a built-in time-lapse feature, and some of them are surprisingly good. They don't have the quality of a bigger camera, but it's an easy way to get started. To finish off, I'll run the complete time-lapse from start to finish, so keep watching if you want to see it all the way through. Thanks for watching. See you next week.